Good morning, guys. Today I'm going to read you the next chapter of The Case of the Stolen Sculpture. It's chapter 4. And if you remember when we left off, the kids had just talked to Mr. Carbony about the type of security they have. So they were getting ready to go and check that out. So chapter 4 begins with that security. A few moments later, they were at the security office. Clementine knocked lightly and walked in. "Hi, Clementine," said Judy, the guard on duty. She swiveled around in her chair, which faced a bank of monitors showing different places in the museum. Each monitor's image changed every few seconds. From Judy's chair, a person could see nearly every square inch of the museum in just a few minutes. So I'm going to go back to that picture. I just wanted to finish the sentence so that you could see it. So there's Judy, and there's the bank of monitors that they're talking about. So they could see almost every part of the whole museum. "Hey, Judy," Clementine replied, sitting down in the only extra chair. She noted the guard's serious-looking expression. "What's wrong? You don't seem happy." "I'm not," Judy said, shaking her head. "How do you think a theft like this makes us look? Everyone on the security team is taking this really hard." "Mr. Carbony told us how hard it is to get into this place when it's closed," Jamal said. Judy nodded. "He's right. There are several precautions in place to prevent intruders from getting inside. A steel gate, several sets of doors, a security panel, and a fingerprint system. And even if someone was able to get inside, there are motion-activated security cameras located throughout the museum." "So they'd capture anyone inside, even employees?" Wilson asked. Judy nodded. "Everyone," she said. "The president of the Association of Capital City Museums could come in with his key and his personal security code and his very own fingerprints, and as soon as he stepped into the front lobby, the cameras would start recording his every move." "So," Clementine said, looking warily around the little security office, "are there cameras recording us right now?" "Yes, even in here," Judy said. She trained one long, well-manicured finger on the darkest corner of the ceiling where a tiny red light flashed slowly. When Clementine squinted, she could just make out the camera's shining black lens. "And before you ask, yes, the security team, including me, went through every second of security footage from the past few days," Judy continued. "No one was in the museum between closing on Saturday and opening on Tuesday morning." "No one at all?" Amal said. "No one," said Judy, "unless they came in through the roof and were invisible and weightless." "Now what?" Raining said as the four friends walked slowly through the Greek and Roman sculpture hall. "Were you here at all on Tuesday morning, Clemmy?" Wilson asked. Clementine thought about it for a minute. She often had a hard time remembering what happened on what day. Tuesday," she said in her mind. She went back over the days, thinking about what she'd done. Over the past few days, she'd started her red and green painting, thrown 2 pots on the wheel. She must make clay art, so that's what they call throwing something on the wheel when they're making pottery, and tried to make a stained glass Christmas tree ornament for the 4th time. She could never get the soldering part right. "Oh," Clementine exclaimed as she suddenly remembered. "I was here Tuesday morning. I came down with Mom and we went in right at opening. Before, even. I was already in the Hopper Gallery at 9 when the museum officially opened." "The Hopper Gallery?" Amal repeated. "Is that where that frog sculpture is?" Clementine laughed. "No," she said. "Edward Hopper, the painter. A gallery of his work is a visiting exhibit this year." "And you didn't hear anything about the stolen piece until the next morning?" Wilson asked. Clementine shrugged one shoulder. "I was busy," she said. "You know, I like to pencil copies of my favorite pieces. I had my colored pencils with me Tuesday, and I spent the whole morning copying The House by the Railroad." "Well," Amal said, "did you notice anything that morning?" Clementine tried hard to think, but all she could remember was Hopper's painting of the big old scary-looking house next to the train tracks and her own inadequate pencil copy. "Let's go to the Hopper exhibit," Raining suggested. "Maybe it'll jog your memory." "Worth a try," Clementine said, and she led the way. So your job today is to summarize. So we want to make sure that we're just really doing a good job of collecting all the information that's happening. So yesterday we thought about just kind of bullets or numbered clues and suspects. Before that, we made some predictions. So our summary will help us to think about what's been happening in the story, will help us make further predictions, and add even more to our suspect and clues list. So just to remind you, when you're writing a summary, you're basically just writing what's happening. So you want to make sure that you touch on the main points. There should not be any quotes. We shouldn't hear exactly what somebody said, but we should hear any of the characters' names in the story, maybe a setting, any of the main events that are happening. And I should definitely hear transition words. First, this happened, then this, next that, something like that to kind of guide your summary. And it should be about 4 to 5 sentences long. A summary that is attempting to write a summary in one sentence is not possible. So you cannot get full credit with one sentence, guys. So please stretch out your ideas. I know I always say when you're thinking of a summary to try and imagine that you're explaining what happened in this chapter to somebody who didn't read it. And then usually you'll do a better job of thinking of all those major points. Okay. Other than that, you just have some writing to do. And for this one, I'm asking you to think about a photo as a storyteller or as a way to tell a story. So it says being home so much means we have extra time to take a walk down memory lane. Treat yourself by spending time looking at photos of when you were young. So I happened to do this with my mom not too long ago. So she'd sent me a photo of us when my brothers and I when we were little. So I have that actual photo and I included it here so you can see there's me. And I wrote a little bit about that, but you don't have to include the picture if you don't know how. Just do your best to describe it. But if you do want to include the picture, or maybe someone at home can help you, feel free to put it in. I would love to see it. Okay. Can't wait to see your work today. Please always put forth your best effort and make me proud.